At CERN in Switzerland, the 32nd Doctor commits suicide. Clarence finds a VR helmet locked away in a safe. Augie finds Jack's VR and tries the game, but she gets killed by Sofan. She confronts Jack about it and learns that he and Jin are playing the game. Sol reminds them that the stars, Augie's countdown, and this VR game are virtual realities. He believes that Vera wasn't herself when she played the game, so it's possible that the VR manipulated her in some way. Augie makes them promise they'll stop playing, but later, Jack and Jin play the game at the same time. She needs his help as she wants to propose a radical idea. They play two-player mode in Tudor England. Follower welcomes them and reveals that the Pope is about to make his decision. Jin and Jack meet the Pope and share their proposal to explain the behavior of the Sun. Jin realized that the planet is part of a three-body star system. She explains that if their planet revolves around one of the suns in stable orbit, so that's a stable era. However, if one of the other suns snatches their planet away, they wander through the gravitational fields of all three suns, and that's a chaotic era. The Pope doesn't like her answer and sentences her to death. They're about to burn her, but Jack saves her life. Just then, a trisolar day occurs, and the world is ending. Jack and Jin are the only survivors. They didn't die because they were right. Sofan congratulates them as they successfully revealed the basic structure of the star system. Now they can play level 3 of the game. Clarence hands the VR to Thomas Wade. The engineers discovered that it has a retinal scanner, an oxygen meter, and a brainwave sensor. Someone is collecting a heap of biometric data. Wade deduces that while someone's playing the game, another at the other end is playing that someone, which means it's a recruitment tool. Augie tells her boss that her shutting down the project is temporary, as she needs time to recheck the engineering. Her boss reminds her that he sponsors her work visa, and she can't stay in England on a work visa if she's not working. Later, she activates the reaction chamber, but the countdown comes back. Jack and Jin play the game and find themselves in Chengdu, where Kublai Khan decreed his dome. They meet Follower, who warns Jin that she is running out of chances, and soon the world will end for good. Jack and Jin meet the Great Khan and share their proposal with him. Two other players have developed a science called calculus to predict the movement of the suns, and the calculations are performed by the great human abacus that consists of 30 million soldiers. Jack realizes that the two men built a human computer to calculate the different versions of the unsolvable three-body problem. The soldiers that are holding flags run solar orbit computation software 3-body 1.0. Two soldiers then rush to the palace. The human abacus says that a chaotic era will commence in 3 days and will last 8 months. The Great Khan then orders the soldiers to dehydrate. They speed up time, but Jin tells the two players that their calculations won't hold up in the long run. The Great Khan orders his soldiers to boil Jack and Jin. Jin speeds up time to prove to the Khan that she is right and that the two other players are wrong. The Great Khan sees as the three suns align and eclipse one another. It's a syzygy that causes the planet to be under the gravitational force of all three suns. Everyone gets lifted from the ground and torn apart. Jin is unable to save Follower. She realizes that their goal isn't solving the three-body problem, but to save people and help them survive. Sofan shows up and praises them, as they correctly determined their true purpose in the game, so she invites them to level 4. It turns out Mr. Evans is behind the recruitment tool and has been watching Jin and Jack all along. Felix informs Evans about the two new candidates and how Jin is attached to Follower. Evans decides to have Jack and Jin vetted for the London summit. Evan then speaks to someone that he refers to as his lord by radio and tells them the tale of Hansel and Gretel. He is teaching them about humanity and fear. The Lord claims that for them, fear is something they experience as one. They believe that Evan ceased to be afraid as he contacted another planet. It seems that the Lord is an alien being, and Evan explains that Wenji was the one who contacted them. The alien being tells Evans that a lack of fear leads to extinction, so humanity must learn to fear again. Evans promises to teach them. Jane gets an invitation to a place, so she and Jack head there. Tatiana welcomes them and congratulates them for being the only two people in the UK to make it this far. She explains how they've been so impressed by their work, as Jane figured out that the home world was part of a three-body system, and that what mattered is not the planet but its people. She asks them to start playing level 4. Jack and Jane find themselves in a wasteland. Sofan and Follower welcome them. They reveal that they are an advanced species of aliens, and that there is no solution to the three-body problem. Follower speeds up time through millennia and shows them how no computer can predict the behavior of three bodies indefinitely. With three suns in the sky, every civilization ends in chaos. There will eventually be a cataclysm from which they cannot recover. Their planet will be ripped in half, or pulled into one of the suns, or expelled into space forever. Since they know their planet is doomed, they need to flee and find a new home. When they received the invitation to Earth, they knew their destination. Sofan explains that they built an interstellar fleet of 1,000 ships as their final hope of civilization, number 9478. They're on their way to Earth. Most of the alien species have to stay behind, as the Count said, if one of them survives, they all survive. Follower asks Jack and Jin if humans will welcome them, because without their help, they won't make it. Jack and Jin take off the VR helmets. Tatiana reveals that the aliens are called the Santi, and the first person to make contact with them was from China, Min Wenji. Santi Ren means three-body people in Chinese. The Santi are coming to Earth from an unstable three-body star system 4 light-years away. The aliens designed the VR technology and the game to share their story with the humans. Jack thinks it's all a scam and leaves. Jin stays and learns that Tatiana and the others are holding a summit for Jin and the other level 4 champions from around the world to welcome them to the organization. Tatiana knows that Jin escaped a flood in Hubei as a child before she moved to New Zealand, so she must know how the Santi feel. Jack heads home and finds Tatiana in one of the rooms. He warns her that there are cameras in every room. She attacks him and says that all he had to do was keep playing. She then makes herself invisible as the cameras record her.